Good evening from the Porsche Mobile One Supercup. Hello and welcome to round number 4 of the season. We are at one of the great circuits when it comes to motor racing, whether it be the real life thing or in the virtual world. It is going to be a fascinating contest. Looking forward to bringing you this one today as we navigate our way by, and it is O'Grady currently leading the way at the top of our session as we approach the halfway mark at the moment. We're on board with Agus at the moment, the number 12, attacking his way through. The driver's second place when it comes to your qualifying standings at the moment, and he is just backing it up, getting himself all set and ready to go. But nothing gets more historic than this part of the circuit that we're going through. Now you're all over the curb and then you get to the top of the hill at Radion and then it's a push. It's a push down the Kemmel Straight. Of course, the Porsche Mobile One Super Cup in real life will be tackling this, possibly in wet conditions as well, later on this weekend. But we're the first ones to do it as we hit Lecom then. And he is trying to find the improvement. We are seeing multiple drivers improving at the moment. This is the part of the session where everyone needs to find a step forward with over 10 minutes completed and under 10 minutes to go. It's a 20-minute session and they will line up how they qualify for race 1 and then we'll reverse the top 10 for race number 2 as well. And now it is a complete full drag into Puon corner for Agnes at the moment as he looks to try and see whether he can improve on the benchmark. Can the Spanish driver, but Alex O'Grady overall across this season has been your driver to watch in terms of, well, not on the screen most of the stream because he's been dominating for so much, but when it's come into this season, he has been absolutely brilliant. Victory in the season opening race at Imola, followed by winning race 2 there as well. He also won race 1 and race 2 at Austria. The round that he didn't win at, it was at Spain, where we had a victory go Cassidy's way and we had a win go Tikin's way as well. So two other drivers managed to get their opportunity when it came to that round. But other than that, round 1 and round 3 have been Alex O'Grady's. It was even a mistake in the opening round. Alex O'Grady momentarily losing the lead in the opening race of the season, but was able to get it back, and he was able to do it absolutely brilliantly as well, as we now find ourselves making our way through down towards the final chicane, the bus stop chicane, with Stratton at the moment. He is tied second place in the championship with Cassidy. They are both on 212 points. Stratton makes his way around the final corner, gets on the power, and brings it down into turn number 1 and improves to second position. So up to second place we go. So a decent improvement there. We mentioned Cassidy's name. He's up to P6. Then you've got more and more drivers on the attack around this circuit. As we usually do, we have drivers just completing their lap time and then immediately coming back into the pit lane as they regroup, get ready to go again. Is Vaston Hoot then? So many different challenging corners, a circuit full of elevation change, and you can see plenty of drivers are out there on the attack as we try to give you as many angles as possible in terms of all of the drivers. Vaston Hoot then throwing it into Puon corner. You go downhill at the moment, then we go to a complete different part of the circuit with Cole heading into Lecom, which is your primary overtaking opportunity. having been involved in the real-life Super Cup and watching those, and calling them for radio as well, I can tell you that, you know, the Super Cup will kick up the gravel like you saw in the background, and they will go for overtakes absolutely everywhere. And the opening rounds of this championship also display that. We're not going to stick to our traditional places. We're going to go for overtakes absolutely everywhere. So expect action, expect amazing racing at different parts of the racetrack. As we go down into Pouon with Van de Sant at the moment. The driver who is 9th place in your championship, in your order right now, I should say. This third sector, of course, mostly a back straight. But it is a straight in this Super Cup car that you will be using to slipstream your way through. Of course, we've got the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. Bruin comes across the line, and he goes into P13 at 2 minute 23.918 is the lap time that he's managed. We look at Riesel Vanten at the moment, as he now also approaches the challenge. So we just got under 5 minutes to go on the clock at the moment. We've had a great improvement and a great lap originally set by O'Grady, the Irish driver, at the front by 1.8 seconds. But if you look at his CV across this season, you shouldn't really be surprised. Race 2 though will get tougher, as we mentioned, even with a reverse grid of the top 10. So there's still to be competition. It's still to be fought for, and there is no foregone conclusions by the end of today. As Max de Bruin makes his way by, we also look at Marco Kerman directly ahead on this racetrack right now, as he sends it through Bruxelles right now. Headlights in full effect there. Flashing the headlights as well is something hopefully we'll see across today, like the real life drivers do. And then they're all focused on nailing this final part of the circuit. So when it comes to our Super Cup calendar, we've of course been to Imola, we've been to Spain, we've been to Austria, we are now at Spa. We'll be heading over in a week's time. You only have to wait 1 week till the next round as Denson improves to 2nd position. You only need to wait 1 week until we go racing at the Hungaroring, and our season concludes at loads of these drivers' home races at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Real life Porsche Super Cup season, of course, concluding at Monza. We over here will be concluding it in the Netherlands as well. That will be coming your way right at the end of August, and it will be fascinating to see when we get to that point of how the championship standings look. On the evidence of so far, if no one ups their game, it could definitely be going O'Grady's way. Over the line we go with Agus. At the moment he's in P4, so it's O'Grady, and then it's Van Densen, then Stratton. Then we find ourselves with Agus, and then it's Kirkman, the driver, completing our top 5. He's in the pit lane at the moment. In time though, as we look through Aruja Radion, perfect camera angles to show you the uphill the drivers have to go through. Of course, we had Harry King and Larry Tenforder completely going for that full speed there. We've got a replay to bring you because we've had a big shot. You momentarily would have seen it in the background of your shot, and it's Eduard Grob who's found himself at the moment. I was about to tell you about that moment that we just saw in the background, but we've got the replays to show you about it, as I was talking about Larry Tenforder and Harry King giving us brilliance last year. The top 2 in the championship going for it. Rouge, Radion, and then all the way down the chemistry. That battle begun down at La Source, and I'm looking forward to seeing whether we're going to get more of that as well. Cassidy goes to 4th position. Time is running out in this session, meaning that the drivers have to find the improvement. It is a vital part of this qualifying now, the business end of it, where the circuit will be at its best and where the drivers have to deliver the lap time, even if it is just a battle for 2nd place with the gap that O'Grady has got. It's going to be fascinating to see. Agus making his way by. Onto this straight, you're about to get into Blanchimont, a rapid Blanchimont, where in a Carrera Cup, Dirk Schuiten, who you'll be seeing in the Porsche Supercup this weekend, in real life, had a big incident. They were going like 5 wide to this part of the circuit. I wonder whether anyone else will attempt that today. But yeah, that was a big incident in the Carrera Cup earlier this year, and it was great to see Dirk Schuiten walk away from that one. And we wish him better luck this weekend across Super Cup, supporting the Belgian Grand Prix weekend. Up to second place we go with Agus. We were following the lap time. Looked like a decent lap time by everyone else's standard, I think it is fair to say. So Agus makes his way through and parks it up, ready to send himself back into the pit lane. It gives us a chance to follow some other contenders, including Max de Bruin, as we hit the end of this qualifying session. So Grady, he won a superb performance. It's O'Grady, then Stratton at the moment. Let's run you through the grid for this race. That was a practice result that we were seeing on screen. Apologies for that one. Alex O'Grady at the front of the field. Agus is in second, and then it's Van Densen, and then Stratton, Cassidy, Kirkman. Then we have Van, then Welton. We have Roll Vandy alongside Vastenhout. He's in 10th, and then it's going to be Yuri in 11th, and Cass Haynen is in 12th. In P13 it's Grob alongside Max Bruin, and then it's Ranton alongside Gibuis, and then Berg in 17th alongside Percoil, who is the 18th car. He'll be lining up and taking 5 red lights. A reminder to you, just like it is in the Porsche Supercup in real life, we will be holding a standing start. If you are a regular, then it is great to have your company and welcome back. If it is your first time watching, then, well, all I can say is They make their way by, and they make their way up towards the braking zone. And how is this one going to end? It's 0.3 of a second. The slipstream helping Cassidy get closer and closer and closer, then having to sit in the wheel tracks for a little bit longer there as well. Didn't get by at the main overtaking opportunity, but sometimes you can see people make their own opportunity around this circuit. There's surely an issue for Kirkman, who's dropped down the order, so surely a problem coming in the background. Berger's out of the race, that is what I can tell you at the moment, unfortunately for him, but there is so much going on this circuit to keep on top of. There is Alex O'Grady as he brings it down into Pouon and get to bumper car stuff here in the Porsche Supercup sometimes with how close the drivers are running. And O'Grady thinking about the inside line, late on the brakes, and that is a textbook move for the driver who is so used to dominating races from the front, having to do a bit of overtaking and moving up all the way to P7. Well, with the pace that he had when it came to qualifying, not surprised the race was started in the pit lane for him. We've got 25 minutes on the clock. We have completed 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's been quite the 4 minutes and 30 seconds, I think it is fair to say. With a great race start, with 4 wide of the start as well. That's always quite dramatic when you get so many different race starts. Slightly deep for Justin Van Densen there into the braking zone of the bus stop chicane as Cassidy tries to set it up. Cassidy with a win so far this season, aiming the second race in Spain, and the man who's taken most of them bar 2 on the attack still. That is another place gained. Alex O'Grady, the Irish driver, moving on and moving up, and he has overtaken one of his nearest rivals when it comes to those championship standings. Stratton and Cassidy tied on points, and O'Grady able to get by in the background. It's getting very, very tight in terms of our race lead. It could even be as close as side by side. You can see to the top of screen there, now in the middle, all the way around the outside, tries to go Cassidy, but is shown the curb as he was trying to find a way by. No easy pass, as we learnt as well in the real thing. Larry Tenforder, knowing that he had to send it on the last lap up against his championship rival, and he did, talking about sending it. This is a battle between Agus having to go hyper defensive. Could it open the door? You've got cars sprayed everywhere, and you've got O'Grady in the mix. We ride on board with him, who's getting squeezed all the way down towards Pouon corner. He was squeezed to the inside. He's still got the nose in there, and he's gonna have 4th place on the exit. So he's finding his way to the position. I think it could even be 3rd in a couple of corners time, because he's not going to wait. He's going to send it late, and that was extraordinary stuff to take 3rd position as the O'Grady Express continues. Only 2 cars denying him the top step. Oh, it's getting really tight further back, though. Of course, we're going to continue. Of course, we're going to continue the battling for you further back. And look at them all glued together in a train. Pouon's about to get interesting. I mentioned the 5 wide and the contact we had in a Carrera Cup in real life. Could we be getting to that territory in a few moments? Because they will be sprayed absolutely everywhere. And you can see how tight it's getting. Agus dropping down to 5th. And you've got cars everywhere at the moment. You've got Descent trying to find a way by. And they will all make it work, and they will all make their way by, luckily. Over the line we go. Still, the side-by-side battling continues into the Source corner. We take a look at Cass Hayen, who's waiting to capitalise. He's in that type of position, hoping for some drama, hoping for something to come his way. Cassidy is trying to make his own opportunities, because it does not look like Van Densen is going to make an error. Now it's Cassidy's job to go on the attack, to get the slipstream down this Kemmel Straight. Is he going to be able to find his way through? It is going to be side by side between first and second place, and all the way around the outside, getting to the apex first and taking the lead. Cassidy gets by. He's been trying lap after lap, and finally he's got the possession of P1. Cassidy hits the front as Van Densen drops down to second place, and that was a great fight. It was a great fight, which now the roles will be reversed. If Van Densen is to try get himself back to the front, he will need to now go on the attack and make the overtake himself. So this will be a fascinating fight to follow, as is the fighting behind. If we look back to Agus, we've mentioned his name a couple of times in this broadcast so far, because he's been right in it in terms of battling, which is really, really nice to see. Meanwhile, we're having to go back to the front straight away because of how close it is. We are very close to dive bomb territory, because he may have lost it. He wants it back immediately. With the way he's able to follow closely, the real life Porsche Supercup drivers need to be watching all of this. I'd absolutely love if we get treated to that on Sunday. We've had loads of races in the real life Supercup which have had red flags which have been shortened. That was the case in Imola by a few laps. Monaco was shortened to minutes. And then also a shortage at Austria as well, into a bridge breaking as Amri Cordial's F2 car was being recovered. So I'm hoping for a full Super Cup round. So the drivers should hopefully be watching this as they learn some tricks in terms of how to make so many overtakes. And possibly everyone has to be looking at Alex O'Grady with his overtaking skill and with the way he's been passing drivers. Across the line we go, and into the source once more. And then, in terms of the battle for the lead, it's all been happening down the Kemmel Straight, so you know what's coming next. And you're not only going to have two contenders, but you have Alex O'Grady just lurking in the background, getting himself closer and closer. Let's jump on board through Rouge and Radion as we see the closing begin. He's had a good exit there. Momentum looks strong, but he's of course too far back to be able to fight away or make any sort of move. The same will apply to Van Densen, the driver second place in the championship. So he won't be able to find a way by at the moment either. O'Grady just trying to set it up, and you know that he can go inventive. You know he can send late dive bombs. I was predicting it. Here we go. Attempt number 1 at Bruxelles. He's got a nose in front. It's neck and neck between the two drivers, but not for long, because when he stands on the power and gets to Speaker's Corner, that is the position gained. And thank God he decided to go and start in the pit lane, because surely he's going to be up into the lead in a few moments' time. It's been passing brilliance. Not only has he got the pace, but he knows when to pass, he knows when to make the overtakes, and he has a look at a place where we've seen him make a few overtakes already on his road to P1, his journey to P1. Now, can he add a different overtaking spot? Does he have a look up the inside? Being smart about it. He knows he's got to hold back straight to get his way by. Here we go. Perfect angle to show you the closing speed of Alex O'Grady, getting closer and closer and trying to get into the race lead. Does he risk it? Into Blanchimont corner. He is tucked up. He is pushing Cassidy through at the moment. And Cassidy, is he going to leave the door open? O'Grady's waiting. He doesn't want to go for it. You can see that he's behind the race lead. Had it been P4, had it been P5, he would have sent it. But now he knows he's left himself with so much time. He's got plenty of time at the moment to work with. In the background, Agus has lost a place. Up the inside, late lunge to take the race lead for O'Grady, but it will be the cutback, and it will be side by side between O'Grady and Cassidy, the top two in the championship, wheel to wheel. It is going to be Harry King and Larry Tenfooter all over again. Who's going to be ahead? O'Grady, braver, into Rouge, and he's going to take P1 and moving through to second place. Opportunistic stuff there for Van Densen, and we had O'Grady make the move. It unsettled Van Densen's momentum, and it unsettled Cassidy's momentum, I should say, rather, and it allowed Van Densen to get by, and Cassidy is back to the drawing board. He's to the inside there. Not the best exit, and going wide into the gravel even. Van Densen, as Cassidy reinstates himself to second place. O'Grady's like, fine, you guys continue with all of that one. I'll go up the road and win this race. Here's Grob, the driver who was involved in a moment earlier on. We look over to Stratton, who's trying to find his way by at the moment. That's what he'll be trying. Let's see, is it going to be into Puwan? He's glued onto the back. Ruin getting by. That is for P14. So some tidy passes being made, some great overtakes being made between the different drivers in what has been so far a very, very interesting round two of qualifying in race one. It will be race two coming up with a reverse grid as well thrown into play. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be quite a lot of fun. See all of the overtaking the drivers can come up with. It's a field that have delivered us with fantastic racing as of yet, and we hope for the exact same come our final stages. The dominant man from Imola, the dominant man from Austria, about to continue here at Spa. Second place's battle will be interesting though, 100%. And of course, depends on whether Van Densen can stay close to the back of Cassidy. Appears to be at the moment that Cassidy's been able to break clear. Into Lesor's corner we go. In this battle, this is Vanton, out of the pro class at the moment, as are most of the drivers. In the amateur class, there's Grob leading the way only by 2 points to Vastenhout. So there's still Grob with the advantage when it comes to that. We continue watching Agus, who lost a lot of places earlier on. He's trying to recover back and take some more. He's being forced the long way round into Brussels. And then waiting to see whether he can get the cut back. Trying to see whether the line works for him. And works to his advantage there. Further in behind, you can see also Straighten. Now he will be attempting the move, or thinking about it. The car of Stratton momentarily lagging around a little bit on screen, as you would have been able to see. Let's ride on board as we make our way through, and then this is going to give us a good view of us, well, having to momentarily get on the brakes and the different braking speed between those two, and then back on the power. And now we follow the cars and we watch Stratton possibly get closer and closer. Game continuing to scare us as well, as the DNF graphic momentarily came up. Everything is good for him at the moment. Is it for Agus though? Because Stratton is going to get a much more better drive. It was slightly wide, you would have seen for Agus there. Over the line in towards Lesor's corner. Of course, there's multiple battles going on. We've got Vastenhout in there, and he is close. Grob. As well, as we battle for second place. So Van Densen is wheel to wheel with Cassidy, or at least he was. He is still side by side, and now Van Densen is ahead. So some great battling between these two drivers taking place. We thought it was over. It got to a 1 second gap between them. It got back down to nothing as they go past the gravel that has been sprayed onto the circuit. losing a position. So up goes Kirkman, down goes Grob at the moment. So that is some switching that is taking place. Okay, let's take a look at a replay. We've already been here with Yuri earlier on. What happened this time by? Let's find out. Round we go. Just lost it completely. Heading into the braking zone. Was preparing for what is a vital exit. All going slightly wrong there for the moment. Is this move going to go right though? Agus versus Straighten. Trying to place the car on the outside. Agus has got the answer. He's got the response to that question at the moment. We bring it through the final corners on this lap. And then they will tick on. We will make our way through to the end. But just to currently bring you up to date, we've got Grob leading the Amateur Championship. He's in 11th at the moment. Raston Hoot is in 2nd, and he's in 13th right now in this current race. We're going back to Cassidy, we're going back to Justin Van Densen, and the reason why is it is close again, and surely going to be within overtaking range. We hit the brakes into the source. And then you're slipstreaming all the way through. Always amazing to watch and see. The attacking car get closer and closer. He's gaining all the way through. And now, from this point, it's absolutely all foot to the floor. And see what you can do as you try and take second place in the race. One defensive move is allowed. That's taken from Van Densen. But Cassidy's got the momentum all the way around the outside. Do these two make it work? They both keep it on the road. It is still neck and neck. As we see Van Densen go over the gravel and come over. And a bit of a touch there between himself and Cassidy. There is still nothing to separate these two drivers. Cassidy with the momentum. And he turn it into the inside. No, not at this moment. And he's back to being in behind. Back to going on the attack. And say hello and welcome to the battle. And Cruisen as well. He's in the mix. You've got three cars debating second place in the race. And even if it might be a 7.1 second domination out in front from a driver who completely abandoned his grid spot at the front after taking pole, sent himself to the back, carved his way through the field, and now he's just seeing what he can do with the gap as these drivers just do their own battle. But it's a great battle as well, even if we don't have a fight to the front. What a battle this is. The racing absolutely delivering. And now, can Cassidy fight back? Is he going to be able to do anything about this? Closing speed is massive. And then we're back to the braking zone. These exits are always vital, and especially will be in the final stages, because this could be a battle, everybody, that goes on and on and on. So it may just come down to the exit. Okay, a little look for Cassidy. The obvious reason he didn't go for it there is because he's got an interesting few kilometers coming his way of trying to fight his way through. And Cruisens will be watching this one. And just like O'Grady was earlier on, he will be sensing and waiting for an opportunity to come his way. Okay, I don't even know which part this is at this point. Let's find out. Who will be ahead though? Van Densen once again defending. Cassidy though, going onto the grass very nearly, trying to take second place. He was forced around the outside. He didn't want the outside though. He went and barged his way through on the inside. There's still nothing between them. It is deja vu from last lap. We mentioned keep an eye on the driver behind because Cruisen could have a chance. He's got the inside line, trying to get himself involved in the mix. If these two continue battling, Van Densen could be up the road. They're still side by side. This is for the final spot on the podium. Neither driver wants to give an inch, and all the way round the outside to P3 goes Van Kruijsen. What a great fight this is turning into, but now both of them with the task ahead to chase down Van Densen, or he could be on his way to securing second place in the contest. Let's take a look at a replay. It was some absolutely fantastic racing, which was getting tight. It's glorious racing, but it's just costing them. Here we go. Cassidy wants it back, doesn't he? He wants it back at the moment. Is he going to get it back, though? Let's find out. If you get too close, it can upset your momentum in Puon. Van Kruijsen's also working towards getting back to Van Densen. So, it is all action, it's all fun. This could be another very interesting battle. Just to update you, by the way, I've not mentioned O'Grady too much, but the last lap, so not this time that he's come across now, but the previous time he came across, it was the fastest lap of the race. He just, yeah, once again, this lap was a 2:20 as well, so just being consistent. Yeah, he's still pushing on, just to give you a bit of an overview. Okay, back to this fight, back to this battle. Van Densen able to pull away a little bit. It could be over to Cassidy, who is all out of shape, trying to set up the move, but that cost him. That moment would have cost him. And wow, guys, we're going down the Kemmelston, and we're not actually going wheel to wheel. What is this? We've been so used to seeing some glorious racing between these lot. And, oh, round we go with Bram. Welton in the middle of the road. Did the rest of the field avoid him? Oh my word, that was close. That was close. Luckily, we got away with it. Oh, of course we're going to have some side by side to bring you guys. Here we go. As we just review ourselves, a replay. Van Densen in a battle. A car going round. Here we go. Back to live pictures. It is Cassidy ahead. So Cassidy now ahead. And up to third position. That's been a move that has come in. Wouldn't have been down the Kemmel Straight. Would have probably just been just after that at some point. A switch has come in. Okay, let's take a look. Is it something brilliant into speakers? Just looks like Van Kruijsen didn't get anywhere on the exit. And Cassidy was able to find a way by. Nothing extraordinary, but was able to set the move up. Then it didn't look like Kruijsen had much drive off the corner. As we make our way by, and we make our way through. Looking to now see this battle and see how it is going to unfold. Across the line at the front of the field, O'Grady is going to take the win here at Spa. Van Densen will be in second place. This is the last opportunity. This is the last opportunity for a move to come by Kruijsen. He can't get there. So Van Densen's in second. A great fight from him. Cassidy's in third. And then it will be Kruijsen in fourth. The rest of them all coming across the line. We'll confirm the full order for you in a second. Here's Grob as he will make his way through. And O'Grady has dominated once again. That is another win secured by him this season. He's really getting used to it, isn't he? That is a 5th win in the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup. Final few drivers now. Just coming across the line. Well, that was an interesting bit of racing, but I have some good news for you guys. We're about to do it all over again as well. We've got more coming your way. Let us know in the live chat your thoughts on that race. As we will get you the results in a few moments' time of the racing contest that we had. It's a very interesting race. Now all eyes as the rain comes down on our screen at the moment will be race number 2. let's continue the story here at Spa. Hello everyone, welcome back. We are holding a reverse grid race now, and it is Grob who is on pole position alongside Kirkman. Then it's Hayen alongside Stratton, and we find ourselves with Agus alongside Roll. We have Van alongside Cassidy, and then Justin Van Denson and Alex O'Grady all fighting their way up. We've got Vanton in 11th, we've got Weldon in 12th, Aston Hoot is in 13th alongside Bruin, and then it's Guybus alongside Yuri with a few moments in race 1. He'll be trying to avoid that here in race 2. And then we've got Cole alongside Berg, and that will be your order. And yes, race 2 will be absolutely amazing. We've got the field getting themselves in position. And here we go then. For the second time today, it is time to go racing. It is Grob next to Kirkman. We've got 5 red lights. The lights go out and we go racing once again for the second time today, and a great start straight from P2 to P1 possibly for Kirkman, who's got the outside line as we navigate our way through Les Sources. It's Grob who maintains the lead. He didn't get the best launch, but he was able to still keep P1. We've got a car going off in the background. Alex O'Grady once again making his way from the pit lane as the cars kick up the spray in these wet conditions. Kirkman now managed to get to P1, so it was surely a moment for Grob. Over the road, over the radion there goes Kirkman. They're all over the road. They're all having to cut the corner at the moment. So you've got cars everywhere. We promised you chaos, and it is absolutely delivering down this Kemmel Straight, which has all of the battling going on at the moment. Kirkman is going to lead us for the moment, but that's late on the brakes, and taking P1 is going to be Roll Van Descent at the moment, who's able to power away by. He was late on the brakes into Lecom, and that was quite brave considering they are in these wet conditions at the moment. You've got Justin Van Denson in 6th, you've got Cassidy in 7th, and it is all chaos everywhere at the moment as we cut to drivers absolutely everywhere. Just ahead of, I think Van Denson's able to get away by, and he's making contact. Making contact there as we are going to see Argus finding himself momentarily struggling, and Cassidy, the driver in contention for 2nd place a lot in race 1, is dropping down the order. You can see him in the middle of shot momentarily in the blue car, 3 wide in the wet conditions to Puon. That is going to be wild stuff as Weldon is ahead of all of them. Of course, we are getting quite the dramatic start to this race. This Formula 1 in the chat was saying nice Belgian weather. Absolutely. And if you thought race 1 was quite chaotic, this is going to be to another level, because we are seeing cars go off left, right and centre at the moment. At the front of the field, we have Roll leading the way by 2.3 seconds. Stratton's in 2nd, Kirkman's in 3rd, and you've got Evert Van trying to attack. Another 25-minute race coming your way. Who is going to emerge victorious? Let's look to a replay. Now, I'm looking for Agus here. So, you're going to see contact made. There's Agus being spun around. Van Denson in the red car. And that was Cassidy off to the right of screen. He lost quite a few positions. Here is Riesel Vanton able to get back going now. This was the moment he had earlier on, as he made his way to a complete standstill, so rather not able to get going, I should say. There, fortunate stuff for him. Let's look back to the action though. Live action going on at the moment, and if I'm honest with you, there's quite a lot of it. If you're wondering where Alex O'Grady is, P7. So he's on the attack and then some, as we are going absolutely wild in this battle for 3rd position. You've got Justin Van Denson, of course, involved again. And then you've got Eut Van in 4th. You've got Marco Kirkman in 5th. As they appear through the spray, Van Denson just asserting his position at the moment. O'Grady making his way by, and he'll now be arriving to the scene as he tries to take all of these positions away. Turning out to be quite the dramatic day so far in the dry, in the wet. It's been the same story really. As there you see Van Densen going absolutely everywhere. I was mentioning how the Porsche Supercup, the real drivers, should be watching this. To get some tips ahead of this weekend, well absolutely now, because they've got a wet weather forecast for this weekend. They'll definitely be driving in the wet at some point, whether it's practice qualifying or their race. They only have one race unlike us, but they are to be driving in the wet at some point most likely. It's probably a good idea if they watch this. Just note down some stuff. And we make our way through, and momentarily, off the road goes Kirkman, off the road goes Agus, so two drivers in your picture, going off at the exact same time. That tells you how the conditions are, and you've got two contenders who both find themselves off at the same part of the circuit. It was even deeper for Kirkman. Agus made his way by. Here is Yuri at the moment, as he tries to get the power down and chase after Agus. I mentioned how Yuri had quite a few moments in race number 1. Look at this shot. Spray being sent straight to the screen. And now it's a bit of a clear road momentarily ahead as he tried to send it down the outside as the defense from Agus came in. Fastest lap of the race goes to your race leader, only for a moment. Van Densen takes it away, and then it's, of course, Alex O'Grady who gets it. 2 minute 43.173. We're seeing 47s being set by some drivers. Here's a replay. Momentarily, we're back to live pictures now. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on. What I can tell you is Van Densen is closing down the gap between himself and the race leader at the moment. Okay, let's bring you the replay now. We'll give it another go for you. We are focused on Alex O'Grady, and we are going to get to see a dive bomb. We're going to see contact down at Lassour's corner. Driver's been going for quite a few moves. Of course, racing in the GB4 Championship. Alex O'Grady. GB4 have had quite the year in real life, I have to say, in terms of wet weather. Typical British weather. On full effect across his racing in real life, and he's absolutely rapid here as well. Okay. Prussian. We were just taking a look as he was out wide, but looking back to him now. As he heads through Speaker's corner, and will be having his mirrors full of O'Grady. He wants to get to the inside line. He wants the inside. He's going to try and get the inside. No room through. What about the cutback? What about better traction off the corner? They are neck and neck. Oh, there's going to be a bit of contact there. And out wide will go Spa-Francorchamps, and to fourth place will go O'Grady. They'll both be deep into the corner, but they'll both make their way by. And now that is P4 for O'Grady as he's improved his position. Let us know in the chat your thoughts so far on all of the action we've seen so far, and your predictions in the final stages of who is going to emerge victorious, and any other things you think will happen. But I can tell you that is happening at the moment. You've got Cassidy trying to attack. You've got Yuri in there. You've got Agus in there. They are 6th, 7th, and 8th. And you've got these drivers who are miles off 5th at this time. As Cassidy just moving everywhere, moving by even. Just saw Agus to the side there, now behind. That's a position switch that has come in. Personal best being set by our top two in terms of their lap times. Aston Hoot going for it up against Kirkman, who was contending at the front earlier on in this race. Now Cassidy is wheel to wheel as we look to Spa-Francorchamps trying to get the power down up against Stratton. We're getting a view full of spray. He's going to back out of it into Rouge. He'll try to get the better traction, try to set it up, and then he's going to get blocked again momentarily because there's no momentum with Stratton. So his momentum would have been affected there. And now, finally, it's full out attack. Finally, you're not having to deal with any spray. And you are able to get by. Agus is losing positions further back. We'll bring you up to date with that one in a second. But it's going to be contact as we throw it into Welkom. Look how slow they're going as they try both get their way through. I'm surprised they're even able to keep it on the road at the moment. Trying to get the cut back. The up and under line of Francorchamps. That's Stratton doing enough. And off the road, finally we see Francorchamps. I was mentioning how they were struggling so much. And how they were running so closely. You were going to see a car off eventually. And Francorchamps has to now recover after that moment. Okay, I mentioned that we'd bring you up to date. And here's the evidence. He lost it. It looked like he lost it, did Agus, unfortunately. That is why we saw him plunging down our timing order. Once again, lucky to be avoided by the rest of the field. As we go back to this battle, soon we'll be going to the battle for the lead, I can guarantee you, because we've got 2.5 seconds turning into 1.1 seconds over the last few minutes of this contest. This is second place. Van Densen really closing in. You've got Cassidy at the moment, who was battling his way by, but now back to single file between those drivers. Agus has lost a position. Up goes Belgian at the moment. You've got Grob moving up as well. So quite the day, unfortunately. And I think out of the race to some degree it might even be. Agus is coming to the pit lane. Around the final few corners we go with these drivers at the front. They've both got O'Grady closing in. So let's see whether there will be any. Well, let's see how long these two can enjoy themselves at the front before O'Grady comes in and takes it away. He's still got quite a bit to push. So will Van Densen be able to make the overtake on our race leader? So many question marks of how this one's going to end. But I can guarantee you that it's going to be action-packed. Oh! As we are once again with Crucian finding ourselves off the road. We're finding ourselves nearly ahead of Stratton there. That was through a rouge. Of course, that part of the circuit, the barrier, has been moved more to the left to allow more runoff for cars to have spins and not get collected. Change that has come in recent years. This Spa circuit. And of course, in real life, for safety reasons, even for us, it's quite helpful. So we're not having cars get affected in general by drivers spinning and then them getting caught up. It is 0.8 of a second at the moment as Van Densen now looks to assess. This is the moment where the driver will be assessing where your rival is weak, where your rival is strong. And when he's following about a second back, when he's following 0.8 back, he'll now start to learn where possibly you could be seeing him go slightly deep. And there we go. We literally just saw it in front of screen. So that is what Van Densen will be assessing. And he'll be looking to see whether he's got an opportunity to try and pounce. This is your battle for the lead here at Spa. Quite a fascinating battle as well between these two drivers. We've had a switch further back. That's Cassidy getting past Kirkman. And in the background, you have also got Ainen waiting there for the opportunity to try capitalize. You'll try see whether there's a chance to update you on what O'Grady's managed. He is now 4.1 seconds off the pace, as it was getting very close. It is still getting closer to Blanchimon, trying to pull out and make the move as Hayden. I mean, none of the drivers, they've been brave today. They've gone for wild overtakes, but no one's attempted it into Blanchimon. They've always got close, but they've always backed out of it. And now you get the opportunity to try send it around the outside, but there's a high possibility you could be wide, and that is exactly the case. For Hayden, it is wet conditions. You do not go in there with the grip that you'd usually have, and unfortunately now, it is a bit of a gap between himself and P9 Kirkman. He's going to have to reassess stuff and try close that one back in. We brought you a wide moment a few seconds ago live, and now we show you a replay of Welton also having a moment as well, as we show you a replay of Cruisin battling, some tidy battling here on a replay with Rouge and taking that position. We look back to it at the moment. This is now live pictures as Stratton trying to send it a long way around. Could be much better traction as off the road. Off the road is going to be Cruisin, and Stratton will rejoin Miles back, but surely giving back some of the time there. And even giving back the position there, of course, will be Cruisin, due to just completely cutting that corner, which wasn't on purpose, of course. It's just that you go down there and there's no grip you find yourself with at that moment in time. Oh, that is close in the background, and contact momentarily being made as Van Bruyn thrown right over to the gravel. That is how dramatic it has been getting. What a race it's been so far. And what a race it will hopefully continue to be, to entertain us all the way till the end, because it's getting so close in the battle for the lead. Grady, you literally just saw him in the background. He is inching himself closer and closer. Time is running out in this race. Now, does Van Densen go for it? He was in this position battling for the lead in race 1. He was in this position, he's now in this position in race 2, and he's off the road slightly wide to lose a few tenths there. Now into the bus stop chicane. There is O'Grady, and he's now waiting to capitalize. Let us know your prediction on who's coming out on top. Or well, if O'Grady's going to do O'Grady things, let us know who's going to be in second. Or give us some actual predictions that you may need to work for. O'Grady is going to roar onto the back. He's absolutely going to roar onto the back and try and make easy work. Never say never, though. Van Densen, our race leader, very good drivers as well. You always get opportunities, but here we go. First opportunity by O'Grady will be taken, and that will be second place. No questions asked. He got such good momentum and had such overspeed down the Kemmel Straight, where it's not even a contest. There's not even a chance for Van Densen to fight back. And now, I think our final words are good luck to our race leader as he tries to maintain it. Or does Van Densen feel brave? He's still close, I mean. He's forced O'Grady to go slightly wide there, because he just basically put his nose on the inside. O'Grady, being the fair driver he is, just opening up the steering, leaving room. I can definitely tell you, while he races with single-seaters in GB4, some of those things can be the same in terms of just getting yourself on the inside to try to scare your rival off the road, and, you know, a lot of room has to be given. As we look to Max D. Bruin, the driver running in 13th position. As we look further ahead to Kirkman on the inside line. Oh, they connected the apex, and that is going to be 1 position lost. Make that 2 positions lost, possibly for Grob. Been sent out wide, and that is going to be 2 places lost for Grob. Kirkman gets by. The boys also manages to fight her way through as well. And further up the road, I think that's Cruisin in P6 who has lost the position. And up goes Vastenhu. I wonder whether that was a mistake. For the driver now in 6th. Will be interesting to see. Right now, though, he's also very close to just making the overtake himself. Is Yuri further back, I should say. And he closed up enough. On board we go. To a face full of spray. As we try and spot our rival ahead. O'Grady with the fastest lap of this race. A 2 minute 42.206. Into bus stop chicane we go. Slightly wide for Yuri. He's trying to get the better traction, trying to set this one up. Then put to the floor. Down this start finish straight as you try. And now assess the braking ability you have into this turn. And then you're prioritizing your exit to give yourself a chance to make an overtake, to give yourself a chance to make the move. None of that at the moment, though. It is 1.4 seconds at the front of the field. So, who knows? It may still be a bit of a contest, this. It may still be one. Oh! Vastenhout there, finding himself with a moment, trying to get back going, trying to get on the power. He'll be out of the way. And there, we cut to it as he lost the car. And then, properly, just goes for it with the throttle. And there's the terrible sight of him being in the pit lane. Which is not what you want at all. Not the sight that racing drivers want to see. Oh, we're off into the gravel trap with O'Grady, who could be at threat of losing second place, and he does so. Up goes Van Densen, and just like that, we were looking at a possible win for O'Grady. Now, the exam question gets harder, because he still has to now take second place, and then close down 3.4 seconds with minutes to go in this contest. Well, I did put in the possibility that it wasn't going to be a foregone conclusion. Things can still happen, and it just has happened. It means that O'Grady now has the ask of absolutely going on the attack. And you can see how close he's getting. As he tries to fight away by, he wants the inside, into the bus stop chicane. It is going to be a nice, controlled move into the braking zone. The switchback will be attempted by Van Densen, who was given a second chance to defend second place. Couldn't do it. That's the pace that O'Grady has. Now, can he put in the best laps of his life, basically, to now close in and go after our race winner after a mistake has come in? It was looking like he was going to bide his time and make the move right in the final stages, but now it is going to have to be magic from this point onwards. It's going to have to be absolute magic. Here is a replay of big consequence. Off into the gravel. Rejoining for the Irish driver, nearly making contact as he did so with Van Densen. And look how close he was to the race lead. But that is the moment that completely transforms this contest. Let's look at a replay with Yuri as well at the moment. As we bring all of the replay. Back to live pictures now. We will be in a few moments, I should say. Let's take a look at another replay of a race leader, Carl Van der Sen. Just navigating his way by. Seeing everything unfold further back. So this is a switch for second place, Van Densen, who's back ahead. So a switch upon switch. And now we find ourselves once again with the situation and nearly off the road. Can he keep it going? Just about. Grady going for it. Absolutely wild stuff there. It is now 4 seconds at the front of the field as O'Grady has been pushing on and then some. It has not been your normal domination. As Bruins being reported as in the pit lane. Let us know your predictions on who now most likely will be coming home in second place. Into the braking zone. This is going to be vital stuff. Trying to get the exit. Look at the line he's taken. It's going to give himself an opportunity to roar his way through. As they will make their way by. And they will surely begin what will be now the final lap of the race. All the way around the outside goes the driver of Alex O'Grady. Van Densen blocks it on the apex. And now it is going to be wheel to wheel heading towards Rouge. We were mentioning Larry Tenford and Harry King going for it. It's exactly the situation now as O'Grady gets his way by, and now Van Densen will try set this one back up. He'll try get the slipstream. He is all out of shape, as you can see. Can he do anything to retake second place in the contest? We know who's coming home for the win. We'll see Rowan Van Descent in a moment's time for the victory moment. But for now, this battle for second place will go on and on and on. And O'Grady has it into the braking zone, but is deep once again. He goes deep once more. And Van Densen looks like a driver with momentum, as he will bring it down into Bruxelles. What a chaotic and fantastic race it's been. What an up and down race as well for O'Grady. But that is why anything is possible in the NXTGP Porsche Supercup. Even more than the real thing, to be fair. So many twists and turns in the tail. And these wet conditions in race 2, combined with the reverse grid, have definitely separated the field. If you look at the gaps, there's been 3 real drivers with fabulous pace. You're watching 2 of them now. You'll see one across the line to take the victory in a few moments' time. We got over the line to have an extra lap basically by around 10 seconds. So 10 seconds of extra pushing on by these 3 have helped us get to, well, get an extra lap of racing between these 2 drivers. Great stuff then, as they will make their way by. But what a performance from Roel van der Sant, who will make his way through Pouan Corner, will arrive down at the bus stop chicane, and he can do it at his own pace, because it's a 4.3 second advantage to the nearest driver, which is O'Grady. You can see them making their way through in the background. What a performance from Van der Sant. He will come across the line to take the win at Spa. What a brilliant performance from him. It's been a great drive by the top 3 to pull a major gap over 4th. It's O'Grady in 2nd. It's a PB set in terms of the lap time wise for Van der Sant. But it is going to be not coming to any use because he misses out by 0.2 of a second. That's still not done yet. Here's Van Kruijsen trying to see whether P4 is on the cards. Stratton will make his way through on the exit. Oh, they're going to get really tight on the exit there. Yuri gave it his all, but it'll be Stratton getting himself to 4th position. Then it's Yuri. And then it's going to be Kruijsen. Then we have Cassidy, who he would have loved to have been battling for the win in this race. Haynon in 8th. Let us know in the chat your thoughts on that. Kirkman in 9th. And Grob, Edward Grob, in P10. That was some race combined with what we had in race 1 and the quali as well. I think it's been a very successful day. Round 4 of the Porsche Supercup. And all I can say is, real life, try beat that. Let's see how the real life one is going to go. And then, as I mentioned, we'll be back in a week's time to do it all over again in Budapest. So, just like the real drivers, we're not having a break. We're back here again with these absolutely fantastic racers going at it in this championship. All of them trying their best to deny Alex O'Grady. Belton across the line in 12th. And then that concludes everything from Spa. What an absolutely brilliant round of the championship it's been. As I mentioned, qualifying was great. So was race 1. And so was race 2. That was an absolute thrill. And it was something that we will definitely remember. It will be a round that will be remembered when it comes to our championship. It's been a vital part of said championship. Well, that is all we've got time for. It has been great to be in the commentary box. My name has been Omi. It's been absolutely a delight to bring you this race. We say thank you to the drivers, thank you to the entire organization of this event, and we will see you in a